In just one summer, researchers in the Pacific Northwest pulled up over 350,000 green crabs, a small creature causing more than $22 million in damages across U.S. coasts. It looks like just another crab, but behind every trap pulled from the water lies ruined fisheries, collapsing ecosystems, and the struggle of coastal livelihoods fighting to survive. Across 15 states, from Maine's rocky bays to California's salt marshes, the European green crab has invaded America's coastal waters. It first arrived more than a century ago, hidden in ballast water and oyster shipments. Today, it thrives in warming seas, outcompeting native species and devouring everything from clams to eelgrass. In these fishing towns, this isn't just about crabs, it's about U.S. pride, food security, and the battle to protect an economy built on the ocean. The battle against the European green crab begins long before dawn, along the cold, mist-covered bays of Washington, Oregon, and Maine. Headlights from pickup trucks pierce the fog as fishermen and scientists unload stacks of steel mesh traps, each one wired, baited, and tagged for tracking. The air smells of brine and diesel. Salt spray coats everything. At low tide, crews push small aluminum boats out over mudflats and tidal channels. The sound of the outboard engines echoes through the still water as they fan out toward shallow estuaries, where the crabs are known to swarm. These aren't commercial fishing trips, they are containment missions, part science and part survival, aimed at keeping the ecosystem from collapse. Each trap is baited with chunks of herring, clam, or squid, chosen for their strong scent that travels quickly through seawater. The traps themselves are simple, rectangular steel frames wrapped in fine wire mesh, with funnel-shaped entrances that lure the crabs in, but prevent escape. Some teams use modified fukui traps, while others deploy larger collapsible traps designed to survive rough coastal conditions. Once set, the traps are carefully marked with buoy lines and GPS coordinates. Crews record every drop location, depth, time of tide, and water temperature, critical data that helps scientists map the crab spread. Each site can hold dozens or even hundreds of traps, spaced roughly 20 to 50 meters apart across mudflats, eelgrass beds, and oyster reefs. As the tide turns hours later, the retrieval begins. The winches groan, ropes tighten, one by one. Cages break the surface. The sight is astonishing, a writhing, snapping mass of green shells, claws clashing violently against the metal mesh. The crabs are fast, aggressive, and territorial, their legs splayed out like tiny machines of survival. Each trap is hauled aboard, its contents dumped into sorting tubs, filled with seawater. The crews work quickly, there's no time to waste. Some crabs are measured and counted on the boat for immediate documentation. Others are brought back to shore for detailed analysis. Every crab caught provides data that helps authorities forecast population growth, breeding patterns, and migration direction. The conditions are brutal. The fishermen work in freezing winds, fingers raw from rope burns, often waist-deep in tidal mud. The traps are heavy, some weighing 40 to 60 pounds when full, and the constant hauling tests both endurance and coordination. The work repeats in silence, except for the splash of traps and the rhythm of the winches. On shore, the crabs are sorted on large metal tables. Field biologists measure carapace width, identify male vs. female, and check for egg-bearing individuals, known as buried females. Each specimen's data is entered into digital logs or written in waterproof notebooks. Some are tagged with small plastic markers to monitor recapture rates and migration distances. In regions like Puget Sound, crews also install environmental DNA, eDNA, sensors devices that detect trace genetic material in the water, allowing scientists to confirm whether unseen populations remain in the area. The combination of traps, sonar mapping, and DNA testing turns each day on the bay into a coordinated act of ecological detective work. By late afternoon, dozens of buckets overflow with green crabs. The total haul for a single site can range from hundreds to several thousand specimens per tide cycle, depending on the density of the invasion front. Each crab is documented before being transported in sealed containers for disposal or repurposing. In some locations, like the San Juan Islands, the process takes on a community dimension. Volunteers, students, and local fishers join the professionals. They haul traps, low coordinates, and even help with cleanup of damaged eelgrass beds, which the crabs often destroy by uprooting plant roots in search of prey. From above, drone cameras capture the full scale of the effort boats, forming geometric grids, buoys bobbing in the surf, men and women in yellow slickers, bending over cages heavy with life. It's both a portrait of resilience and a visual of alarm, a glimpse into how one invasive species has reshaped the rhythm of American coastal work. By the time the last traps are pulled, the tide is rising again, covering the muddy scars left behind. Crews rinse their equipment in freshwater tanks to prevent contamination, a final ritual before heading back to shore. Tomorrow, they'll return to the same bays because containment isn't a one-time job. It's a race against reproduction. Each female green crab can produce up to 185,000 eggs per cycle, and with multiple breeding cycles per year, the challenge is staggering. The process repeats daily, almost mechanically, but each haul represents one step closer to restoring balance to the fragile coastal ecosystems. Back on shore, the operation shifts from catching to classification and control. Rows of folding tables line the pier, covered in stainless steel trays, waterproof data sheets, and digital calipers. Buckets of seawater keep the crabs alive just long enough for study. The air hums with the clatter of carapaces and the low murmur of researchers calling out numbers. Each crab is lifted, rinsed, and laid flat on a measuring board. Technicians measure the carapace width to the nearest millimeter. Record sex, maturity, and limb condition, and inspect the abdomen for eggs. Any buried female, a female carrying a dense orange mass of eggs beneath her shell, is flagged immediately. These individuals are priority removals. One can release more than 180,000 larvae in a single spawning cycle. The work is meticulous. Field biologists photograph representative specimens, tagging them with coded markers to track growth and migration. When populations reappear, every entry GPS site, detail, height, temperature, salinity is uploaded to a shared database maintained by the NOAA Marine Invasive Species Program and local state agencies. This data network allows managers from California to Maine to monitor population surges in real time. When sorting is complete, the focus turns to regulatory compliance. Because green crabs are listed as a prohibited aquatic invasive species in most coastal states, strict containment protocols are enforced. Crews disinfect gear with 2% chlorine or quaternary ammonium solutions, ensuring no larval hitchhikers survive on ropes or boots. Traps and boats are pressure washed before moving between bays. Even the seawater used to rinse equipment is filtered and treated before discharge. Disposal follows equally tight rules. Captured crabs cannot be returned to the sea under any circumstance. In some regions, they are frozen and later composted or processed into fertilizer. In others, they are sent to research facilities for gut content analysis or shell strength testing. Every batch leaving a site is logged, sealed, and transported under state supervision. Violations such as transporting live crabs without permit carry fines of up to $10,000 per incident, underscoring how seriously regulators treat the threat. Inspectors from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service occasionally visit active sites to audit procedures, ensuring that eradication efforts do not harm native species like Dungeness crabs or eelgrass habitats. Before each new season, agencies issue updated harvest and handling guidelines, adjusting mesh sizes, soak times, and allowable trap densities to minimize collateral impact. By late afternoon, the tide retreats again, leaving a new measure of success along America's coastlines. Plastic crates brim with green shells, each tagged, logged, and ready for transport. The numbers are staggering. Across 15 states, hundreds of crews operate year-round, and together they remove well over 1 million crabs each season. In Washington's Puget Sound, record hauls have topped 350,000 crabs in a single summer. Maine's Casco Bay reports another 120 tons annually, while California's estuarine programs capture tens of thousands more from salt marsh nurseries, once dominated by native Dungeness juveniles. If every crab were laid end to end, the chain would stretch more than 20 miles along the shoreline, a vivid illustration of the infestation's scale. Yet for scientists, these aren't just piles of crustaceans. They are data points charting an invasion's front line. Each entry location, date, and catch per unit effort is fed into NOAA's centralized dashboard. Within minutes, biologists in Oregon can see spikes from traps in Massachusetts, adjusting regional strategies before the next tide. In raw biomass, the output is enormous. A single coordinated cleanup in the Pacific Northwest can remove 1,000 pounds of crab in under 2 hours. Over a full year, that translates to more than 500 tons of invasive biomass diverted from U.S. waters. Compared with European baselines, where the species' population density averages 3 crabs per square meter, certain American bays now exceed 15 per square meter, 5 times higher than their native range. Such density forces an industrial-scale response. Fleets of small skiffs shuttle traps ashore. Forklifts load containers bound for composting sites and pilot processing plants. In Washington's pilot facility, conveyor belts carry the catch through automated washers before flash freezing or grinding. The line hums like a miniature seafood factory, except here, every ton processed represents environmental recovery, not consumption. Funding has grown accordingly. Federal and state agencies now channel more than $22 million into removal operations, equipment grants, and research partnerships. This network spans over 400 active trapping locations, from quiet New England harbors to remote Alaskan inlets. Data from these efforts feed into international comparisons. While the U.S. removes roughly 1-2 million green crabs yearly, Canada's Atlantic coast manages around 9,000, and Northern Europe's control programs barely exceed 5,000. Proof that America's response ranks among the most aggressive in the world. Still, the scale of the task dwarfs the output. Scientists estimate that for every crab captured, dozens remain undetected in submerged eelgrass beds or rocky crevices. Breeding continues year-round in warmer regions, meaning that even record hauls can feel like holding back a tide with bare hands. The key metric is not eradication, but containment, reducing density below the threshold that collapses native shellfish stocks. At community docks, piles of emptied traps gleam in the evening sun. Volunteers record totals on whiteboards: 5,642 today in one bay, 9,317 inches. Another. The numbers tell a story of persistence, a nationwide relay of effort stretching from one coastline to another. Every load lifted from the sea is a small victory, measured not just in weight, but in square meters of ecosystem restored. In sheer volume, the campaign has become a benchmark for invasive species control. It mirrors fisheries in its logistics, industry in its efficiency, and environmental science in its purpose. The output and scale of the green crab program now defines a new kind of harvest, one where the goal is not profit, but preservation. What began as an ecological disaster has slowly transformed into a new branch of the coastal economy. Along the docks of Puget Sound, fishermen unload crates not for auction, but for assessment. There's no bidding, no cheering crowd, just quiet relief, as each trap's contents represent both income and impact. Through a patchwork of federal, state, and local programs, the U.S. government now invests more than $22 million annually in mitigation, research, and community participation related to the green crab crisis. That funding flows directly into small towns where traditional fishing once dominated. Grants help outfit boats, replace lost gear, and pay seasonal crews dedicated to removal. For coastal families in Washington, Oregon, Maine, and Massachusetts, these programs mean survival. Where declining shellfish harvests once forced fishers to abandon the trade, the green crab bounty brings them back to work. Compensation is often structured by catch weight or trap count, with payments ranging from $1.50 to $3 per kilogram removed, or flat stipends for verified collection trips. A dedicated fisherman can earn between $30,000 and $50,000 per season, comparable to a modest lobster income. It's not glamorous, but it keeps fuel in the tanks, bait in the traps, and families on the coast, beyond direct wages. The invasion has triggered a secondary economy of innovation. Environmental startups have turned what was once waste into profitable resource streams. In Maine, companies process the shells into organic calcium fertilizer for blueberry farms. In British Columbia and Washington, biotech labs grind crab protein into pet food supplements and aquaculture feed. Culinary pioneers have joined the effort too. Chefs experimenting with green crab bisques, broths, and pasta sauces, creating niche markets that convert eradication into cuisine. Each new product not only offsets removal costs, but also raises public awareness, proving that sustainability can have a flavor. At the policy level, this shift has attracted private investors. A handful of coastal cooperatives have emerged, branding themselves as eco-harvest enterprises. Their model is circular: fund removal, process the biomass locally, sell the product regionally, and reinvest profits into further cleanup. The result is a self-reinforcing loop where environmental restoration directly supports livelihoods. Local economies once reliant on single-species fisheries are diversifying. In Oregon's Coos Bay, a cooperative of clam diggers now operates part-time as an invasive species unit, rotating between native harvests and green crab extraction. Their annual revenue split between fisheries and mitigation contracts has doubled in 5 years. The ripple effect spreads outward. Coastal supply stores sell more gear, fuel suppliers keep boats running longer, and local transport companies haul frozen crabs to composting plants or processing facilities. Each link in the chain sustains small rural businesses that might otherwise vanish with declining fish stocks. Universities and research institutes also benefit economically. Federal grants fund graduate fellowships, lab equipment, and fieldwork stipends, creating jobs not just on the water, but in data centers and marine biology departments. In this way, the invasion sustains a hybrid workforce, part academic, part industrial, part conservationist. But this is not a traditional fishery chasing profit. It's a new economy built around ecological debt recovery. Every dollar earned represents both a paycheck and a step toward restoration. Economists call it a negative yield harvest, a rare case where success is measured by reduction rather than growth. For coastal communities battered by storms, pollution, and shrinking quotas, this model offers hope. The fight against the green crab has proven that even environmental crises can generate opportunity when met with innovation and cooperation. Today, a fisherman hauling traps in the drizzle of Puget Sound or a student logging samples in Maine salt marshes is part of a $22 million a year economy of resilience. It may not rival the billion-dollar tuna or shrimp industries, but it carries a different kind of wealth: sustainability, local pride, and the dignity of work with purpose. And behind every restored eelgrass bed, every returning clam population, lies that unseen economic pulse, proof that when people fight to save their waters, they also save their way of life. Captured crabs are never wasted. Some are flash frozen for research or ground into fertilizer and animal feed. Innovative startups have begun processing them into protein powder, pitful, and even gourmet sauces, turning a pest into a resource. In Maine, chefs experiment with green crab bisque and pasta stock, a sustainable twist to reduce waste and support local fishermen. Every pound processed means fewer crabs in the water and a stronger coastal economy. Behind every haul is a financial struggle. Fishermen paid by the trap or by the kilo earn around $30, $50 per season, supported by state grants and removal incentives across all active programs. The green crab response effort now represents over $22 million in mitigation and recovery funding. That's money flowing into small harbors, labs, and local processing plants, keeping coastal families employed while protecting U.S. seafood industries worth billions of dollars annually. Behind every meal of lobster or clam in Boston or Seattle is an unseen effort to hold this invader back. This isn't just about a crab, it's about human resilience. The endless cycle of fighting back against nature's surprises. From scientists counting shells in the rain to fishermen hauling traps at dawn, the message is clear. Every action counts, because once an invasion begins, it's not just ecosystems at risk, it's entire ways of life. So now the question remains, would you rely on technology or tradition to defend America's coastlines from its next great invader?